I might do that again, you know. Hello, you beautiful people. All sexes and ages. How are you guys doing? We got a new video today. Or stream, or whatever they want to call it. That's barely visible for me, so. Please enter the current. Okay. Please enter the current time. Well, for me, it's not that. It's 7 p.m. What do you mean? No, I don't understand. Oh, okay, okay. The open is 23. That's current time. Oh, it's 7:23 p.m. Accessibility settings can be accessed from the menu. Okay. I want to get into the game, bro. It is good. Begin the game. I don't know anything about this game. Just watch the trailer. That's it.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Never know.
Stanley worked for a company in a
This is all I've seen. This is all I've seen, by the way.
Employee number 427.
It should have been 420.
427's job was simple. He sat at his desk
Oh,
in
God, don't
room
worry.
427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
So basically a gamer.
Through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And
It's a bit boring, isn't it?
Might have considered it soul-rending.
Aye.
Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley.
So it's just in a universe of
And then one
bland.
day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so this is me. Where's Stanley now? Got a bit of coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker personally, but test. Okay. 428.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Oh, so L2's too dark on my on my wait, what's that?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Anybody here? It's a nice view. This is a very nice place for the circumstances. I want to find 420. I want to find 420. I will not rest until I find 420. 419. Oh, where is it? 423, 424. Where is it? Is it on the opposite side? It's 419. Okay, no, whatever. I hate Mondays, same. So did you. Where am I going? Oh, wait. I'm just following the doors, honestly. Oh!
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
oh no, it's a
he entered
maze.
the door on his left.
Okay, I was gonna pick the one on my right. I sent a jump scare. Why?
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Oh, and the door shuts. That's
Feeling a
reassuring.
wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office hoping he might
Oh,
find an answer
shit.
there.
How to solve a dispute with a co-worker. Let's read this. Take a pass. Hold on. I was reading that. Sanitize core value. Yada yada yada. Free. Monetize free to play. Is this game? Oh. Like
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Hello. Anybody? Oh god, this is nice. Very creepy, but nice. Damn, dog. You got a an office, yeah?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of
I
any
love this
human
guy's
life.
voiceover, it's so good.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
True. So what do I do now then? I wasn't listening. I had a piano. Then was ordered. Santa!
Stanley just
been a
sat
good
around
boy.
twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
How do I... Oh. I love how it's trying to hit me.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened
Hey,
to
you
input
literally
the
told me the
correct
code, you
by
idiot.
sheer luck.
You literally told me the
He
code.
stepped into the newly opened passageway.
It is very dark. Wait, where are we going? I wasn't paying attention. Where's the... Oh. Okay, it's big. It's getting eerie. I'm not liking it. Okay. Let's do it now. I love these type of elevators, I don't know why.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt
so
more
stupid.
free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh. That's reassuring. Okay, so we're in the boiler room.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Shouldn't we go down there, though? Yeah? Oh, shit, it is dark in here. Mom, I'm scared. I'm scared. Okay, it's fine, I said, it's fine. It's a little dark room. Been in many in the building. Ooh.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Oh.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to
Beautiful.
himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Guess it's so. But what do I do from now? What do I do? Oh, okay. I didn't see that open. Should it be down here though? Should it be? I don't really think it cares, honestly. Oh, I'll check what that is in a minute. Wait, has a note. Okay, so... What are they hiding from them though?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
Wait,
Stanley's
where's ours?
co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
There's ours. Do you see ours? 427. Get that. Oh, I lost it. So what do I do now? Okay. This is very intriguing. Wait, where's 420? Ah, I think 420. Okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
There's 600 of these. And fired. So, keep on going, eh?
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it?
This game's
Was
so
it even
silly,
possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Oh, I can't see a thing. I guess. Oh, shit, okay.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Let's dismantle it! But I don't know how to. And control starts offline. I'm just gonna press buttons. I don't know what I'm doing. Help. Oh. More buttons. We're going to here. Is this just where I was? Oh. You can't jump. No, seriously, we're disabled. I got
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Wait, so what do I press? Off? Was I meant to press that? Oh.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
I'm intrigued. Oh shit.
He had won.
Yes.
He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
It's bringing a tear to my eye, guys. We're actually free.
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking.
It's so emotional, guys. We have freedom.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand.
I'm keeping an eye on my back.
No longer
they always say, watch your back. That's what I'm doing.
What to do.
God, could you be any longer?
Whatever
Jesus.
life he lives, it will be his.
Yes.
And that was all he needed to know.
Yes.
It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin. The feeling of liberation.
Yes.
The immense possibility of the new path.
Should have given us a trophy for that, man.
This was exactly the
just
way,
getting free.
right now, that things
wait. I want to look
happen.
back. I want to look back. I actually want to look back.
Was happy.
Oh, I want to see what was done with it. Wait, I just beat the game. I've been playing for 15 minutes and I just beat the game. Okay. Wow. Wait, I'm back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Should have tried different
decided to go
outlooks.
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It's a game, seriously, just 15 minutes. I could have just done a video on it. I didn't know, to be fair. I'll see what happens if I go on.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
We'll go through this, please.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yeah, was I meant to go through that door? I'm assuming so. No, I'm not going through that door. I'm intrigued.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
It was so bad at following directions, it's surprising he wasn't fired. Yes, oh no. Oh, no. Okay. I just want to see different outcomes, okay?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Where am I?
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
This is so funny.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Ooh, her? Who is her?
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
She's been waiting. Which door am I? I'm assuming this one. Beatrice, I'm coming. Oh, can't do that.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out.
Shit. I beat the game again.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay,
Yo.
There we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Whoa.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Okay. Whoa, this is nice.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
So I'm dead? Hold on, let me just explore the room real quick.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him.
So tell me the story.
Every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Do you have an ass?
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Have I?
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
I want to go in the bedroom.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Please press circle to spend time with the boys. They're down with the times.
He went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere
we know it's
thought
behind
that
each door,
his
'cause I went through
decisions
them.
would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
This game is so stupid.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself.
Jesus.
He won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Please
And I
die.
tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Did I die?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing?
It's literally like Juice WRLD. I still
now
see
the
your
voice was
shadows
describing
alone.
itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people, Stanley's simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself. Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh. Shit.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
This is deep, this, man. Shit. Okay, I think we'll leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed.